Welcome back to the second episode of the Common Woman Podcast.
Look at that. Look at that.
We finally
Wow.
got some sound effects. It's cute. It's cute. I like it.
Yeah, it feels official now. It feels official.
It's cute.
I'm so happy to be here again, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the first episode.
Yes.
So we're back again. I'm back here with my girl, Melissa. I'm Cortnie, and we're going to talk about self-esteem today. Self-confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big, big thing that unfortunately a lot of us deal with in terms of it being low or we're not feeling good about ourselves. And we just wanted to have a real conversation today about it and the struggles that we've gone through personally and pretty much what our theories are, where we think we get our self-esteem from. So why don't you start today, Mel? Because I know we talk about this stuff a lot. We work together, so we have like these conversations at work, even though our bosses hate us for it because we're always talking. But
whatever. Who cares?
Hence this podcast.
Okay. So for me personally, I'm sure we all feel the same. Our self-esteem pretty much starts with our parents.
Yeah.
The people we watch for the example for everything, especially at such an early age.
Yeah.
So I feel like it starts there.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I know it's difficult. I don't have any kids, but I know it must be so difficult.
It is.
Like, I know for my situation, like, I feel like my mother, obviously, both of my parents were great. You know, you're pretty, you're beautiful, whatever. But she would criticize herself constantly. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like I picked up on that.
Yeah.
And I started doing that. And it was just very negative for me. You know, it made me feel insecure about everything.
Did it take you like a while to realize that that's where that came from?
Girl, it's my 30s. Isn't that sad? It took to my
I mean, I don't really think it's sad because there's a lot of people out here that have no idea and not aware. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
30s.
Did you just say dear? No idea.
Did she?
Did I? No, the host.
Me?
Dear.
Whatever.
I didn't hear
anyway.
it. I didn't hear it.
You just
silence his
covering
mic.
up for him, that's all.
Dear. Anyway, no idea.
Thank you.
I'm trying to think back. I don't remember.
We'll play it back. She said it.
He's so annoying.
We're getting off topic.
My bad.
Out of all that profound stuff we just said, he comes up with
proceed.
He said we got to control your mic from here. I don't know how we're going to do that.
We need some kind of button.
Put them in and out.
Or maybe a sound effect I could turn on that just like makes a really loud noise. Like,
I can control the master sound here.
That's true. He got it.
Whatever.
All right. Anyway.
So you were saying though.
So I actually realized it in therapy. Is when I realized it. I didn't realize that. So background. I used to dance.
She's super dope still.
I used to dance and I never felt good enough.
Really?
I never felt good. I don't know
why. Know this.
Yeah, I never felt good about myself. I just I didn't feel it. And so that led me to leave it.
Really?
Yeah, like I did my first year of college at LIU as a dance major. And
so you were real serious about it.
Yeah, and after the first year I was like, I don't know. I don't feel good. I don't feel like I'm good enough. I don't see this for myself. And I told my dad, I was like, well, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Wow.
And so I switched schools and picked the worst major ever. Economics. Like, who does that?
That is the most boring class.
Girl, and I went to high school for dance. So I wasn't like academically strong like that because who cared about academics really? I was a dance major.
Yeah.
But I picked it because it had like the most generic classes, and I was just like, well, I'll do that. Oh,
First of all, I am so shocked to hear this
I
because
know.
I've been in a dance class with this one, and you are an incredible dancer. First of all, she can do any type of dance. Like, it don't matter what it is, like hip hop, ballet,
She gonna make
jazz,
me blush.
No, she's gonna make
African.
you. You're
Let me
cheesing
tell
over
you,
there. Look
we
at her.
took, my other coworker who
Man,
doesn't
I'm
work
gonna have
with
to
us
do a
anymore.
lot of color balancing later.
Yo,
Be quiet.
We took an African dance class together, right? This was like a few years ago. And like I used to dance too, but not on her level. And I was super out of shape, still am. But I was in the back, like dying. This girl was in the front row, like basically teaching the class with the teacher. Like she was doing.
You being extreme with that.
We thought we was in Africa.
She's hyping
watching
me
her.
up right now.
No, I'm serious. She was really good. Like,
She even put me in Africa. The extreme. It's extreme.
I felt like we was in Africa. But anyway, she's really good. So it's so shocking. It's so amazing. That just goes to show you how we view ourselves versus how other people view us. Because I'm over here thinking you're like, you know, the dopest.
I never felt it. I never gave myself credit for any of it. So when I went to therapy, she was like, you know, it sounds like you don't trust yourself. You don't trust the choices that you make because of the choices that you've made that you weren't happy about. You don't trust yourself. And that was one of the first decisions that I made in life that I hadn't forgiven myself for in all these years. And I didn't even realize it.
You felt like that was the wrong decision?
Yeah. I wish that I was confident in it and just
kept going.
But I just psyched myself completely out of it. Yeah.
I know
mean,
a lot of
is,
people can
but
relate to that.
Yeah, so
It's scary. It's scary too. But oh my God, yeah. But that's how you figured out that came from your parents and specifically your mother, you feel like? Or do you feel like your father somehow contributed too, or?
I don't know.
That's a difficult question.
Yeah,
to answer.
I don't know. That's something I really gotta really think about.
Yeah.
I have to like really go back.
Mm-hmm.
I just know I picked up on that with her because she still does it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I know.
Yeah.
And it only dawned on me that she does this because of that therapist.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. That's the thing about therapy. You don't even realize things.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
They know the right questions to just pull certain things out of you.
Yeah. It's something about talking to someone who doesn't know you, who's not a part of your friend circle or your family, who can just objectively look at you and listen to you and then like help you see things that you may not have realized that maybe you might have had an inkling about deep down inside, but like they kind of ask the right questions to bring that out. And we're huge advocates for therapy over here. So, you know, we're going to talk about that a lot. But yeah, like she was saying, that's kind of a theory that I have about self-esteem. I feel like it starts with our parents, and I feel like each parent has a specific role. I feel like the father is responsible for how we, you know, the way in which they talk to us, what they say to us, like, you know, you're so beautiful, you're so strong. I feel like that affects us in terms of how we allow other men to treat us. And I also feel like mothers, like you just said, we watch how they look at themselves and what they think of themselves, and that affects how we view ourselves. So Melissa told me something very powerful one night we were hanging out. That I have a 3-year-old daughter, so after she was born, we were hanging out, and she was telling me, like, you know, make sure that you don't criticize yourself in front of her.
Yes.
Be very careful not to like be down on yourself or talk bad about yourself.
They watch and mimic everything.
Yeah. And when you said that to me, I was like, oh my God. I was crying because I'm like, yo, I do that. You don't even realize it.
We all do.
But it's like when you have a person, a little tiny human that's mimicking everything you do, especially a little girl, you know, they mimic everything you do. And then it's like you think to yourself, you think back on the times when you're like, oh, I look fat, or I don't look good, or I'm not pretty, or whatever you say. And you're like, she's sitting there soaking that all up.
I hate this. I hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad you brought that to my attention because I would have been, I mean, I'm sure I still do it every now and then, but I really try hard to be cognizant of it, you know? So it's rough, and it's a struggle. It's something that we have to constantly work at. Constantly. You know, like you're not just going to wake up. Part of realizing your self-esteem, and if you have issues with it, is acknowledging it first, and then the work starts from there, and you just got to work at it every single day, you know.
It's about like changing. It's really hard because it's about changing your whole thought process.
Right.
Like as soon as you start mentally bashing yourself, you have to like stop. You have to just stop yourself. Like, okay, cut that off. No, that's not true. This is going to be fine. Or you look fine, or just whatever the situation is. You have to constantly cut your thoughts off. Yeah. Because they will go south quick.
Seriously. You really got to do some mental gymnastics.
You really do.
Yeah. It's important because not only is it important for yourself and your own mental health, it's important for the relationships that you want to attract, and the relationships that you have currently. You know, when you have very low self-esteem, you tend to attract certain types of people who want to take advantage of you. And I'm not saying that you deserve it, obviously not, you know, but I'm just saying that it opens you up to those type of people because they will see that low self-esteem in you, and they'll prey on you and feel like they can control you, and they'll feel like they can get in there and make you think that you're someone that you're not, you know. And that's why it's important to be strong within yourself. And you know, I'm saying this to everyone, but I'm saying it to myself because every single day I gotta fight that voice inside of me that's talking about like, oh, you know, you're not good enough, or the podcast isn't gonna work, or you know, like
I mean, it's normal though. It's healthy to have your highs and lows, but you want to try to manage just the lows.
Don't let them lows run with you. You know, like don't take your mind over. You know, but from the man corner, since you want to crack jokes all day, what do you think?
Oh, now you want to hear me?
I am interested to hear what you have to say. What do you think about that theory in terms of the mothers and the fathers and the different roles we think they play in self-esteem from the man's point of view?
All right. I definitely think it's very important. It's important to have both, but I think even more so the male figure for a boy, you know, because that's what the boy has to imprint on. Yeah. You know, you can have that argument that says, oh, you know, but what about, you know, different types of marriages or single parent marriages or whatever. You could make that argument, but truthfully, a male figure is what that male child has to mimic. So that's what they learn from. You know, seeing the model that looks like them gives them the idea that says, okay, look, this is how what we look like is supposed to act, so to speak.
So do you feel like, so since you brought that up, you know, not everybody has their father in the home. So what do you think about other male figures? Do you think that it's just as impactful to have another male figure like an uncle or a brother, an older brother maybe, someone who's there to like steer you in the direction of how you're supposed to be as a man? And, you know, I think
it's definitely important. I think innately humans as a whole, they look for the similarities in each other. That's what attracts you to something else. So as a little baby, you see something that kind of should be like you, and that's what you're going to try to copy. If you notice, you see little babies, they copy their mom or their daddy. It's because they're trying to imitate you. They're trying to be like you. They're trying to see what you do, and that to them is like, okay, this is what should be. In a relationship where there is no other parent, you know, there's one parent or something like that, there's always some other figure, whether it's a male or a female, for the child that they're going to imprint upon and act or try to be that way, because that's what they say. Well, we look the same, so that means it kind of must be the same way. You know? That's what I think. I mean, there's so many theories out there. People could argue either way, and they have been arguing forever.
What about mothers? How do you feel like mothers can contribute to the self-esteem of a young boy?
Well, mothers start that from the very, very beginning. Like they say in some, I've heard them say in some studies and whatnot, that, you know, that first touch, that first moment is what gives that child that
The
sense
skin
of
to
security.
skin.
Yeah, the skin to skin. You know, they say it's very important because it gives them that nurturing, it gives them that confidence, that security that they're going to be okay. Part of confidence is that you know you're going to be okay. But when you're first born, you don't know anything, but you feel that comfortableness, that calmness.
Dang, so you think it starts all the way back then?
Yeah, it does.
I didn't even think about that. Wow.
Yeah, they even go further if you want to
That's
go
powerful.
back. It's like
That's
in the
powerful.
womb,
In
they
the
say.
womb,
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
why people play music.
Mm-hmm.
Their bellies and
Yeah.
stuff. They
Although they
get
have said
absorbed
that
all
the
that.
sidebar, the Mozart thing doesn't really help. They said
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
they said that for years that they get smarter by hearing Baby Einstein and all that in the stomach. No, it doesn't.
They're like, what is all this noise?
But they like the sounds.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah,
You
it
know, the
stimulates.
sounds, it stimulates them. So you could make that argument and say, oh, they're more ready when they pop out because, you know, they've been stimulated already, but they haven't really conclusively proven that.
Yeah.
They're smarter because they listen to Mozart in the womb,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, now think about this for a minute because I want to talk about what it looks like when a woman has low self-esteem, like how they present to the world. But before you answer that, I'm gonna ask Chris,
Okay.
how does it look like for a man who has low self-esteem? How do they present themselves to the world? Like, what types of actions do they do? You know what I'm saying? Like, stereotypically, I guess, because can't speak for everybody.
Yeah,
but,
you
know.
this is generalizing. You can't
Yeah.
pinpoint
very
anything.
general, very
Right.
general.
Typically, that type of male will not be an outgoing person. They're not going to be out there. They're not going to want to be the center of the crowd or the attention for everybody.
You think so?
A shy person is not going to do that. One that has no self-confidence is not going to go in there and jump in the middle of the crowd and say, hey, see me, look at me. They don't have the confidence
I
to do
think we
that.
disagree.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes that dude
I
that
think it always depends on the situation.
yeah.
I think that
I
dude
think-
that's jumping out there is not for self-confidence. It's sometimes for other things
To
too.
compensate for something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a guy that's like, and maybe you kind of right in that aspect because I'm thinking more of somebody who's shy.
Yeah,
know,
because shyness is different.
It's
from,
different from confidence,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
You could be at that point. I could agree with you there. I
Mhm.
gotta kind of take that back.
I've
thinking
met
about
men that you would think that their confidence is through the roof.
Yeah.
Everything is
Mhm.
put together. But then I noticed that they need validation.
Yeah.
And I can see it in certain
Yeah.
behaviors and
Yeah.
certain things that I've I'm noticing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to have 10 different women hitting you up because that just validates you, makes you feel good. You're the man.
Mm-hmm.
But clearly, if you need all that, your self-esteem and your self-confidence is not that high.
Right.
Yeah.
You
That's
know what
true.
I'm saying?
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
So-
I agree with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. You know, they will overcompensate in that area.
Yeah.
And in others, you know, you'll see it in how it makes sense now the way you're saying it. I wasn't thinking of it right before. You know, it does make sense because they're like they have the flashier outfit.
It's
they
kind of
have
like
the fancier clothes, the fancier watch, the nicer car because they're trying to impress.
I don't know why, but it kind of makes me think about when they say comedians are the saddest people, and they're always trying to make everybody else laugh, and that's because they're
they
the
say
saddest
clowns
people.
are the saddest. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I
like
heard
it
that
makes me
before.
feel like that with like guys who are
Mm.
out there always like getting the girls and like acting like they like the man when they really feel like they're not. You know
it's
what I
like,
mean?
why are you trying to be something else?
Yeah.
Why can't you just relax for 5 minutes and be you?
Relax
I don't think
for-
everybody's on like
Relax.
that for like every day, all day.
People tend to forget the mask always comes off.
Exactly.
You can act whichever way you want.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're gonna get comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna show you're behind.
Talk about
So-
it. Talk about it.
There's no point.
Yeah, I missed it. Sorry.
I was about to say, are you about to do
I
a
missed
boom or
I
something?
missed it. My
Don't do.
Horrible.
I missed it.
Mad
And
late.
now there's an ad because it's a free app, so it's not
mad
working.
late.
We might have to give that to the soundman. Soundman,
Yeah.
Fail.
do that.
I don't know.
Wait,
Yeah.
I'll fix it.
Nah, we gotta play a real one.
It's too late.
Wait.
Leave that alone.
It's
If-
been like 5 minutes.
It has.
I think I even lost connection now. You know what? All right, I'm done. But babe,
One day.
one of the we gotta get this together.
It's
It's
only
episode
a real-
two.
It's gonna be a
We're
real
good, we're good.
podcast
Right.
one day.
good.
It's all right.
It's gonna be a real one.
It's already real. We just It's
I got
all
a
right.
vision. It's
We don't
just
need a
not-
boom.
You know what I'm saying?
We should just stay. You know what? I should isolate that audio of you going, and we'll just use that over and
We
over.
need to get one of those. What are those big bells?
A big drum,
What
the
is that thing?
gong.
The gong.
Yeah.
Thank you. I didn't know what the hell it was called. I said that big bell. Oh, bong.
Hanging from the
I
ceiling.
actually really like that.
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
Just
Don't
put
do
it behind
that.
you
I was
and just bang
joking.
this,
That I don't know about that. I don't think that's a good look. I don't think that's a good look.
It's not gonna work.
Well,
You're gonna be like, what the hell is that behind them?
but anyway, babe, one of the things that I always admired about you and really love about you is the fact that you have a really strong and a really healthy self-esteem and self-confidence. Like, I never see you down on yourself about anything. And you're not cocky. You're just very confident. You know who you are. You're strong in who you are. And I think it's a beautiful thing, especially for a man. So how did you do that? How are you this way?
Honestly, it comes from, as a kid, everyone that I was surrounded by always enforced that be you. Don't take anybody's crap. Don't follow everyone else. Do what you want. Do what you feel is appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
You'll know what's right. Obviously, they teach you what's right from wrong.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you get that sense. You're like, this isn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have the friends that, they'll do their thing. They'll go a little crazy with, drugs or whatever. And it's not something for me. So I never went that route.
Yeah.
So you just
I
have
was
to.
the same way.
Yeah, you grow up that way. Your parents teach you. The people that are in your family, they'll teach you to just do things for yourself. Do it for you. If it doesn't feel right for you, don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, good for you. That's really that's a blessing
It's
to
not-
have been like that
it's
since
not a-
childhood.
Yeah.
It's not a hard thing. I guess pretty simple in that respect. I just see black and
Yeah,
white.
black and white type of person.
That's it.
Yeah.
If it's right, it's right, and if it's not, it's not.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I just kind of became a black and white.
Yeah.
I guess because I'm just finally getting it together. Some of us are less fortunate, Chris.
It's okay. It's okay.
He's stupid.
Some of us struggled with it.
Yo, it's a daily struggle.
It
It
is.
ain't nothing to be ashamed of. It's a daily struggle. We all humans over here. But back to you, Mel.
Oh, God.
What does it look like to...
Well, I'll say this. There's a lot of different things that happen in your life that'll change you. So, that getting cheated on, changes you. It makes you, well, why would that happen to me? What's wrong with me? And you take a blow at that. And then it happens again. And it might happen again. And it just, you keep taking these blows. And then, as you get older, you party, you go out, you have a good time. You might abuse alcohol a little too much. And I feel like that's when the real shit hits the fan. Can I say shit? I'm going to say shit.
Yeah, I put the explicit on
it's the
it.
what?
We good.
Okay.
We clear.
I was
You
trying
can
not
say
to.
whatever you want.
I'm not going to
You
really
want
try
me
to
to do
curse
the
on this, but
Why?
Beep right to it,
That's
right?
a part of
Beep
what
right
makes
to
who
it.
you are.
We won't hear anything then.
Nah, I got the explicit. There's an E on this podcast. We good. We good.
I thought that was for everyone. It says
Yeah,
it on
we
the
should-
video games. E is for everyone. you never saw that?
That's a different E.
I forget my thoughts immediately, right?
Mhm.
I was
Damn, we're
like,
gonna have
No,
to start
see,
over
no,
again.
I got you.
Right now.
You was talking about sometimes you abuse alcohol too much. We're talking
Okay,
about what it looks like when a
so
woman has low
when you,
self-esteem, or what it could look like.
When you don't deal with what is wrong, what is bothering you, the emotions, everything, if you don't deal with it, it comes out. And it comes out very ugly. So for me, I know that I was dealing with a lot. I wasn't handling it. I didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
And so I was partying regularly. I was getting drunk. Like, I don't even know what to say about it. I was getting drunk. And I was just so sloppy. And I just wanted attention to validate me. I just needed attention.
That validation.
From whoever.
Yeah.
Who the hell cares? I just needed attention. But I was sad. And so I just drank heavy. I was sad. I was loud. I was putting myself out there to get the attention. And then I was angry. I would be an angry drunk, you know, and I was like that for years, sadly enough, until I really feel like it takes a really bad situation to change you. And it's unfortunate that you can go years until that happens, you know? So I was like that for years until finally I was like, okay, I don't want to be this person anymore. And I finally was like, wait, like I keep bashing myself, but I don't give myself any credit for anything that I do.
Yes, that's important.
And so it took some time, but, you know, changing the whole thought process and trying to monitor my alcohol intake. I still fail here and there. You know that, especially being vegan. My tolerance is in the dirt. I can't handle it. I can't handle it at all.
So it's like, what, 1 cup now?
Now I'm like, I really cannot go past 4. Like,
really?
that's like
of
the
wine?
max.
Of wine.
I don't even know if I've had 4.
I mean, yeah, because 4 is like a bottle, dude. Like,
Yeah, 4 or 5 is a bottle, yeah.
I don't think I have.
Cannot
This
go
dude
past
has
4.
no tolerance. He's just
I don't have
whatever.
an off button. It just keeps going.
well, that's nice.
And he's just like this too.
That's
He'll
not
have
nice.
like
That's bad for
5
you.
bottles and he's like just like that.
Like
Oh
we,
my
one summer we
God.
cleaned
He does
out
that.
what, like a cooler of beer, maybe 6 or 7 bottles of whiskey, a bunch of bottles of wine, and we had some hamburgers. And I
And
was
we're not
sick.
hungover?
No, I was just like I am right now.
They fine.
I
Him and his
die.
boy.
I'm Puerto
I
Rican. Come on.
die. I'm Puerto Rican, and I die
I don't know.
every time.
I don't know.
I'm so over you.
Isn't it different for men and women? Like I don't.
Well, it goes down to your body weight, but that's all, you know. That's a whole
You
other
saw how he tried to
conversation.
play you, right? That was messed
No,
up.
never that. I'm just a sound guy.
Please,
I'm
just
babe.
be that, babe.
See, that wasn't all necessary though.
So, and what's interesting is now that I'm in such a great place to me, I'm happiest I've ever been.
Glowing.
I got really drunk with a girlfriend of mine. Rum punches are evil.
Really?
They're evil.
Because they taste like candy.
That's the ones that'll sneak up on you and take you out.
It
That's
punched me in the face and took me out.
Yeah.
But she was like, you were really good. There was no anger. I wasn't acting out. I was just real mellow. And I was like, well, this is a new me.
That's good because they say the truth comes out when you intoxicated,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Mhm.
So,
That's good, Mel. That makes me happy. I definitely see a change.
but
like,
it was hard. It was a journey.
Yeah.
I feel like it took too damn long. Don't be like me.
No.
Goodness gracious.
I think people should be like you because I feel like you're self-aware. You took the time to go to therapy. A lot of people don't understand that it takes strength to go to therapy. You know, like
a really low place. But it, you know, whatevs. That's what it took
whatever,
for me.
you know,
It's a
it
low
happened.
place.
It did happen though. You know, I think that's a beautiful thing because people just go through life and don't even make any changes at all and just continue to be miserable and, you know, so it's like, I think that's great.
And it's still a
I
work
think
of-
that deserves applause.
Y'all are so sweet. Thank you.
Since the clap thing doesn't work.
Whatever.
It does. She
Why
just
don't you
slow
put it
with
on? Oh,
maneuvering.
your phone is busy right now.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said it works. She just slow at maneuvering.
But
She not good with
I
that.
lost the connection. You
Not
turned
good
it
with
off or
that.
something. I lost the connection.
oh, now you want to go blame the sound?
Yeah,
guy,
because you in
right?
charge of the sound. So
I see how that is.
no, but you know,
It doesn't, self-esteem and self-confidence and all that it's not just a relationship thing. It's for everything. Like I am currently struggling. We both are. Well, not really you.
what you mean?
You're in a direction of knowing what you want to do with your life.
Oh, but girl,
Your purpose. I feel like I don't know what it is. I have no idea.
Is it that you don't know or you're afraid of it?
I think I don't know and I'm afraid. Because there's a couple different avenues, but I never took the time to sit down and play with it and try to really figure it out. And I think it's because I feel like, where do I start? How do I move forward? It just freaks me out and I don't bother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's one that I'm just still currently struggling with.
You're gonna get there though, cause
It's hard, but
yeah.
then I freak out about my age. I'm getting too old to be doing all this other stuff. But
But this one over here,
Hey,
let me tell you. Oh, you don't want me to?
No, go ahead.
I can't put you on blast.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say do it anyway.
Yeah, my husband is old.
Older.
He's 10 years older than I am. But he went back to school and became a registered nurse at a later age, you know? So I feel like it doesn't matter when you figure it out or find your passion, just go. Because even still, it took, babe, you could vouch for me. When me and my husband got together, 13 years ago, I was so depressed. I was miserable because I felt like I had no idea what I wanted to do. I felt like how you're feeling. Like I had no direction. I just didn't know what I was meant to do in this world. But I feel like I don't think you don't have direction. I feel like you have direction. I just think you're afraid. But we'll come back to that.
We don't have to.
So you have 3 different things that you could be doing that you would do extremely well. And I know you know it. But I felt like I didn't know where to go. So I went through this long, right now, today is when I'm doing what I know that I'm put on this earth to do. And that was 13 years. So don't be like me. Don't be like me, you know?
But it's never too late.
It's never too late. It's never too late.
No.
Because I truly believe that God puts a vision inside of all of us. And, you know, once you open your eyes to that vision, and you made a great point, because it does have to do with self-confidence. It does have to do with your self-esteem, because sometimes God will reveal that vision to you and you'll say to yourself, how am I going to do that? I can't do that, you know? And you can't allow that voice to settle in, because it will detract you from your destiny. So I did a lot of stuff to get to where I am now. I took tests, you know how they have those career tests or whatever. I
was thinking about those.
Yeah, you should do it. And I guarantee you, I know exactly what's gonna come back.
You don't know.
Can I say it?
Nope.
All right. I'll tell you off air.
What do you think?
Teacher, business owner. I feel like dance instructor is kind of the same thing as a teacher. What's the other thing? Something within there, or or a therapist or something like that.
That's a lot of school. I don't want to go back. Is that horrible? I'm like,
it's not that bad though.
Look, I don't blame you.
Lose the money.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I'm in school right now, and it's tough. But anyway,
you're doing good though.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you.
You're doing really well. Yeah,
nerd.
She's one of those nerdy
Nerd
kids.
alert.
You should talk this one.
You a nerd too, don't?
He graduated a whole semester early.
I didn't do as good as her.
Yes, you did. You did way better than me. But yeah, a whole semester early you graduated. Show off. But back to the self-esteem topic. So you know how I was saying about, I feel like the parents have a very vital role in that, and I felt like when I was younger, my parents were together, and my dad filled me a lot with self-esteem. He would say constantly, "You're beautiful," you know, tell me a lot of great things to make me feel good about myself. And then when they got divorced and he left, I felt kind of a void. Even though my father was very active in all of our lives, I saw him all the time. There's something about not having him physically in the house, you know? So when he left, I felt like as I got older, I started to look for, like you said, that validation from other men to fill me. And because of that, I was kind of reckless, and I wasn't, you know, treating myself the way I feel like I should have been treating myself. And I allowed a lot of, you know, for lack of a better word, dirt bags to come into my life. And, you know, so it definitely was a long road for me. And I don't know. I'm trying to think of what it took.
The sad thing is that when your esteem is low, you're under attack. You really are. You're under attack.
You're so vulnerable.
These, we're all spirits. So these spirits, these men, friends women,
too.
Just they see it, they feel it, and they know that they can get what they want from you,
right,
for the time being,
right.
You know, and we're, you know, your self-esteem is low, so we're gonna give them pass after pass.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and deal with just toxic relationships.
That's
what ends up happening.
True.
You deal with toxic relationships
That's
until you start really, I feel like once you build that confidence in yourself, then you really start seeing the negative in other people.
Yep.
You can see it so much clearer and so much faster.
Yes. You stop making excuses.
Yeah, like I feel like I was in relationships like that would last a couple years, and it would be toxic. And it would just take me so long to see it because I was in just a very low place. But then once I started building that self-esteem back, these relationships were getting shorter and shorter because as soon as I saw something that I didn't like, it was time to put you to rest.
You're like,
you have to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
that's very true.
Even though sometimes we get bored and we still deal with some bullshit, but you know what I'm saying? That boredom fuck you up, but
It will.
but
It will.
That's the
for the
call.
most part.
Don't try to do a sound again.
Would you say you said that on the first episode? Don't get bored, ladies.
Don't get it's horrible, bro. Like I've been in so many bad situations
the
from
hobby.
boredom. Exactly.
Find the hobby.
Exactly. I started making lotion and candles. I was like, these devil boys are not gonna get me. I'm gonna get a hobby. I did. I was journaling. I was trying everything.
So you're at home writing books and stuff now?
I probably could publish a little book.
Yo,
I'm not even gonna lie.
The stories this girl has, you could.
Horror stories.
You could.
But
we gonna talk about
they
it
getting
on the
better.
podcast.
Y'all really want me to just put
Let
it
it
all
out.
Why
out?
are we
Let it
here?
out.
Why are we
Air
here?
out
I'm
all the
saying,
laundry.
that's the whole point of the podcast.
You know?
Well, I'm not airing it all out on one episode.
We're going to have to start doing voter requests. You're going to have to air it out.
That's funny.
We're gonna have to do an episode on like dating horror stories and bring some friends with that one.
Oh yeah,
We don't have enough mics for that.
All right, we'll bring one friend because we got enough mics
We're
for
gonna
one
have to
more.
share mics.
We're gonna have to get
a
that
couple
hairy
people
one.
on
We're gonna
mic.
be we're gonna be sitting on the couch on top of each other, sharing the mic like
Yep.
this.
We'll get that big
We all
hairy
got
one
'em.
and just hang it in the middle. That's it.
Yeah,
We'll figure it
definitely could
out. We'll
all.
figure it out. That'll be good.
Yeah, but since we're talking about your self-esteem being low, and I think I've heard you say before, if you're not sure if your self-esteem is low, what did you say?
Look around you.
Look around you, girl.
Your friends and the toxic relationship you're in will tell you you're not in the best place
Exactly.
to deal with, you know.
So if you're dealing with that right now and you're wondering, well, how am I supposed to improve my self-esteem or start to even work on it? The first step is acknowledging that you have low self-esteem.
And what is it? What's the trigger of it? Like, I feel like we have to get really deep down and figure out the root of it.
Yeah.
And then it's changing your mindset.
Right.
As difficult as it is, just constantly interrupt those thoughts.
Mm-hmm. And if you feel like you can't come to that conclusion on your own as to where that's coming from, go seek therapy. I highly recommend it. I've gone myself. It's done wonders for my life. I'm in school to become a therapist, so obviously I'm going to be an advocate for it, but it really does do something for you to get an outside opinion, unopinionated, like just, to help bring things out.
And journaling.
Journaling
Is really, really good. To start from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Start from the first memories that stand out to you, because there might be something in there.
I just read that in one of my textbooks for school. Let me see. Girl?
Look at the psychiatrist.
I'm not even lying. See what I'm saying?
I'm cheating.
Mel be knowing.
I'm cheating.
You read that before you started, right?
No, a therapist told me to do that.
But see how important therapy is.
You remembered.
I'm not gonna lie.
You remembered.
I literally must have went. I only went to like 5 sessions.
Yeah, you don't always have to go.
But it was just that was enough to help me to just put in the work on my own. I feel like I just needed a starting point. I just didn't know where to start.
Yeah,
and I didn't know certain things. Like I didn't know that I had low self-esteem. I didn't know, what things happened at a young age that made me,
Yeah.
who I am and mistakes I was making and things like that. So
Yeah, those things are really important and powerful when you do, when it is brought to your attention, and it's the catalyst to start the changes that you need to make. And you mentioned before too that it's important to celebrate your successes. In order to really feel good about yourself, you kind of have to turn off that negative side and start to point yourself in the direction of all the positive things going on in your life, all the great things about you. Chris does this for me all the time. Thank God for this man, because I get down on myself a lot. I have a lot of self-doubt that I deal with. It's a daily struggle, but whenever I get down on myself, he always is like, look what you're doing. You're a mother, you're a full-time worker, you're in school, you're doing this podcast, you're doing this and that. Look how amazing and successful you are. And it's like, oh, wow, I forgot about that. Thanks, babe. Like that helps. Just thinking about those little things that you do. It could be anything, any little thing that you're doing. You could have your own place. You know what I'm saying? You're paying your bills on time. Celebrate that, because it's not easy out here.
It's not.
It is not easy.
Yeah, you're buying food, especially with the tokens going up. Damn it.
The tokens.
Yeah,
what
the
tokens?
Subways went up. Oh, y'all,
baby,
Long Island
baby.
people. Y'all don't know nothing
they
about that.
They don't have tokens no more. That's how all he just dated himself.
I mean the Metro card. Damn.
The funny thing is when he said token, I was like,
and he repeated it too.
I know.
Like, what I'm talking about. Tokens.
I knew what you were talking about, but I was like, oh boy, he's outdated. He's outdated. The sad thing is, I couldn't remember what it changed over to. So when you said Metro card, I was like, oh. You said Metro card. I didn't even say anything.
No, you said Metro
You
card.
did.
I was like, we don't have that no more. I couldn't remember what it was called.
Fine, I made a mistake. Metro
You
card.
didn't make a mistake, baby. You
Forget
were just
it
thinking
now.
about your heyday when you used to.
Whatever.
You used to be able to jump over the subway.
That's the last time you took
You
the train.
remember how they had the
Last time I took the
turnstile
train
that you
was
couldn't? You could just jump right over. Like they don't have it that
You
way
can still
anymore.
do
You
it.
can still jump
Yeah,
over.
you can still do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that y'all could tell I don't.
It's
ride
just
the subway.
easier back then.
Yeah.
'Cause
Like
it was
in that
all
Michael
open.
Jackson video. Was it Thriller? You could just jump.
It's not Thriller.
Was it bad?
It's bad.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
see,
was like,
I knew
Thriller
that.
is the whole
I
got
knew that.
monsters.
I think we gotta edit that out later.
I think we should keep it. I think we should
See,
keep it
that's-
because she does.
That's
because
you was talking all that smack.
What she
Whatever.
does.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All that plepa.
So what was we talking about? Ways to raise your self-esteem. Yeah, so I mean, what was your point anyway by bringing up the tokens? Oh, because I was saying if you could pay your rent or whatever, you could pay all your bills on time.
Yeah, I was saying because
and
it's going
and
up.
the price of tokens went up.
Went up. Yeah, like I think I heard it on the radio on the drive to work this morning. They're raising
They raised the tolls too.
the toll. Yeah, but that was like a couple of weeks ago, no?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I'm
like
saying
the
they raised
bridges
it.
and everything.
Yeah, so they raised the tokens. I think it's the
But how
weekly
much
is still the
for
same,
What though? For
but the
what?
month I don't know. The monthly went up like $6 or $8 or something like that.
Because we're in New York, and you would think with all the money that they charge us, that
Funny
it
they
would
go
look
there.
better and smell better.
That
is just not the
That's why
case.
a lot of these guys out here don't have their own place.
Mm.
I meet a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
It's rough out here in these streets. It really is.
Really
It's
is.
expensive, man.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It is.
But yeah, so
I was gonna say something. I don't remember.
it'll come back to you.
Damn.
We were just
Oh,
go ahead.
you know what helps me sometimes when I'm feeling low?
What?
Some happy music.
Yes. Oh my God, that's
Music
true.
is my little therapy sometimes.
God, I wish I could play some music, but you
Turn
have
that
to, like,
slow
ask-
R&B off if you sad. Turn it off.
Yo, that's so true though. That
Turn
is
it
so true.
off.
It'll keep you in the depth, like.
And when you driving, don't put too much hip hop on it. It makes me get road rage. I don't know. It's a trigger for me.
It don't take much, okay? If you've ever driven in the car with this girl, but I
Just
don't have road rage.
put
though.
you
Coming
out
on
there.
me, and
Put
I'm
you out
working
there.
on this, and she's giving me a bad
You
rep
see?
right now.
See?
I'm working on
kick
this.
the
We
problem
all have
ended
it.
down.
We all have.
You
road
have road rage.
Yeah.
No, she does not.
What?
What is it? Excuse me.
Whatever. I don't have road rage. I'm just a very aggressive driver.
Yeah, she's aggressive, but she doesn't have the
shown
road
it.
rage.
She's shown
I
it with me
drive
in the
like
car.
a mad woman.
She like, you know, whips around, but
You don't drive.
I
like
drive
that.
crazy.
Nah,
I
road
drive like a
rage, nah.
lunatic.
No, you don't.
she
I
don't
drive
have
like you.
That's what I'm saying. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Best drivers ever.
Yo, I feel so comfortable in her car.
You scared me a few times.
I scare her
Not
all
a
day
lot, but just
because
a
I
few
get too
times.
close to the
You
side.
do, and
I get too close to the
scares
side, and he gets
me.
mad at me for that too. I clipped somebody a couple times.
Yeah. Talking
can't
about,
even
I hit it. What? No, I don't know what you're talking about, babe. What?
Yo, let me tell you, one time in college, I drove into the parking lot and completely just clipped somebody and just proceeded to park and didn't even know that I hit this dude's car. They come running up to my car and they're like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I'm chilling. I was like, "Hey, what's up?"
Oh, you didn't feel it.
I had no idea. Like I felt like a tiny little bump.
I'm not surprised.
Ah.
What you trying to say now?
Cortnie has those moments,
Mm.
little ditzy moments. Yeah.
I can't say she's lying.
I know you felt it. I know
I
you were
felt
just like,
a
that was
little
dust.
something.
Yeah. That was real heavy dust.
I ran over a can. I don't know.
Yo, it felt like it was just a curb or something. It was the whole entire car.
You smacked the car and it felt like a curb.
I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't even. Thank God we was on college campus, and it was just like they didn't really care. Like there was not really any damage, but
Oh my God.
that didn't help my self-esteem.
I almost forgot what the topic was.
You know?
Honestly.
You're going to have to start
Just
flashing it on the
sidebar.
screen.
For real.
Oh man. Oh.
But anyway,
So bringing it back.
we could wrap it.
Yeah, I think we
could
pretty
wrap
much
it.
made our point.
We
you know,
did.
just it's a work in progress.
It is.
Don't-
And it's just all about feeling good about yourself and where you are right
Yeah.
now in life. You
accept
know,
that.
have an idea of what it is that you want to improve and just work towards it. But just always celebrate everything. Waking
Celebrate
up in the
you.
morning is a celebration. I thank the Most High
Yes.
every morning. I
Yes.
open my eyes.
It's very true. It's a very good point,
So,
Mel.
you know,
Not everybody gets to wake up.
that's my affirmation.
Yes,
for
I
the
was just going to ask you about that.
week.
I love your daily or weekly affirmations.
Yes.
So only on once a week.
All right. The affirmation for the week is I love and accept myself for who I am.
All right. I
Wait a minute.
love and accept myself for who I am.
Yeah.
Say it, babe.
I love and accept myself for who I am. Did that do it for you?
Yes, it did.
It didn't do much for me, but thanks.
I'm
I see
glad
it in
did.
your eye.
You guys are so cheesy together.
Oh, yes, we are.
Mm.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope you'll join us again for our third episode of the Common Women Podcast next week. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.